Today is 1st of August 2024. My name is Risu, and this interview is for the Taste of Memory project. Could I begin by asking you to confirm your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Stephen Lee.
Can you spell it for me, please?
Stevenlee.
Okay, Stephen, thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for accepting our interview request. We would like to begin by exploring your personal background. Would you mind tell us briefly about your upbringing? For example, where are you born, your education level, and the current family situations?
Okay.
So where are you born?
Ready? Okay. Yeah, I born in India, a city called Kolkata. There's only one Chinatown all over India. So I am the third generation who born in India, and I start from the very young age, around 16 or 17, about to try to know about the food, how the food, like basically Chinese food are very popular in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan and all this. But in India there's a lot of twist and turn called a Chinese food. Now it's become known as the Indo-Chinese food. And that's the city is the birthplace of Indo-Chinese food.
Can you tell me, because you said that you're the third generation in
Yes.
India, tell us about your first generation, second generation, when they moved to India, so which part of China they moved to?
First thing I've known, because I'm the third generation, maybe my great grandfathers used to come, I don't know the exact place in China, it's Guangdong or something, yeah, there's something like that. They came to India, settled there. Where my father's born, mother's born and all, and so I'm the third generation over there. So I don't know the reason why they moved from China to India, but after all, the massive of Chinese people from China, they moved to India. They settled one place called Chinatown, called Tangra. It's very popular for the Chinese food, Chinese leather tannering and all these things.
What did your parents do in Chinatown, right?
Yeah, in Chinatown, because the problem when they, not my parents, my grandparents, so when they come to India, for them is the most difficult thing is communications. Because Chinese people, they don't speak Indian language, and Indian language, they don't speak Chinese, so that when they make friends or something, it's very difficult to communicate. Even they want for the shopping and all, so they make very difficult life from the beginning. So when it's come to my father's time, that second generation, then it was like a more easier way, because they born and brought up, so they start to learn a little bit of Indian language. Then
Indian language are the same language, or they have lots of different?
they have a lot of different language, but they have like a mother tongue is called Hindi. So that most important. Once you know about that language, you can communicate. So for us, the other generation is become very fluent in that language. Maybe you can say I'm the Hakka Chinese. So during our generation, our Indian language become more fluent. So we know better Indian language than the Chinese language. So that's it.
So in India, did you learn Chinese? Did your parents force you to go to some Chinese school?
Yeah, one thing is very interesting. In India, we have 3 Chinese schools there, which is quite popular. Very small age, people say, oh, we are Chinese, we should have know some Chinese language or writing and all. But during our generation, I don't know about much about how my fathers and mother brought up at that generation. My father has been to a Chinese school, so obviously he know how to read, he know how to speak. He speak Mandarin, he speak Cantonese and Hindi and all this thing, Indian language. During our time, we are more focused on the Western side. The first preference we want to learn about is English. There's been the open opportunity to go abroad or somewhere. If you stick to in one Chinese, then the only opportunity is either China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and all this Singapore, they are more familiar with all this Chinese word. So our time, maybe I think during my time is just 2 years I was in Chinese school, which is very near to our house. It's a very huge and big Chinese school. So from there I just not much interesting because third generation we don't know much about Chinese. We only know the culture, how the Chinese New Year is celebrated, how the Moon Festival and all these things. But to talk in Chinese, because we at home we speak only Hakka, no, not a Mandarin. So we only know much about Hakka, but when we go to Chinese school, just for 2 years, it's like a kindergarten school like that. So just to learn how to write your Chinese name, that's more important. Your father's Chinese name and all this. So that's a basic. Then, of course, our parents say, why wasting so many years in Chinese school instead of go to the English school where you can have a further education and all. So that's how from Chinese school we went to start the.
But when you're in India, did you guys celebrate the Chinese festival, different type of Chinese festival?
Yes, in fact, it's till now up to date. We have a lot of Chinese people. I think maybe now I think only maybe 3,000 Chinese people are there. Earlier was more than 45,000 Chinese people was there.
Why they never know?
All are migrate, all have been, because migration is in our blood. So once you grow up, you're looking for better opportunities. Like me, of course, from India, come to UK. So most of the Chinese people now in India, they move to Canada, US, Australia, and one of the popular Chinese community they have in Vienna, Austria. So all the Chinese people start to move out.
Okay, so you mentioned this Indian probably or Chinese Indian people they don't want to stay in India for a long time.
Yeah.
You haven't mentioned your family members. Are they all of them migrated to other countries or?
Yes.
You?
Like me, my father have 2 sons, me and my younger brothers. So even my younger brother migrated to Austria, Vienna. So like my cousin and all, they also migrated. So only the old people who are they prefer to be India is the best place for them because they know each other. Not like UK, you stay at home expecting people to come to visit. There you don't need, just walk in distance, you meet the neighbors and all. So for the old people it's good in India. For the younger generation and all, they like to move abroad for better prospect.
So you say that you and your younger brother seem like not living in the same country. Can you tell us when did you come to UK?
Yeah.
And what's the reason you come to UK? What the challenges?
Oh yes,
you came to UK that time?
This is called a fate. How you have an opportunity to go, because in India we see the life becoming more tougher and become more tough. So people like to think about even a lot of Indian people, they like to move out of India to settle abroad. So obviously all the human thought like that. So when I was working in a restaurant in India and all, we see the pay is not as high as that. Okay, you can survive, but saving is not there. So people are thinking, oh, when you heard about someone moving abroad, they having better life. So it's not like you just get a ticket and just go. So what we have to wait for the opportunity. The best opportunity is about your skill. If you have a skill, you can go anywhere. So that's a more important when we are working there. We thought of going abroad, and obviously we have tried, but a lot of things, procedure is there where you cannot get it. So you have to stay back to India. Until one fine day I got an opportunity, one of the Indian celebrity chef invited me to come to London to start a venture called Indo-Chinese Food. So,
Which year did you came?
Yeah, I came here in 2001.
Oh, so it's very kind of like compared to other migration groups, it's very recent. It's not that.
2001 is quite long, around 20, yeah.
I saw because when we look at Chinese community history here, they came 1960s.
Yeah, some of the means older, maybe they are much older than me.
Okay. Did your family also, other family members also here?
No, I don't have a family member here. Then later on, after working here for around maybe 10 years, something, then I'll gone back to India and get married and bring my wife. Now my son born here.
So you have one son or
One son.
Is he still working in the restaurant?
No, he's
business
just
or-
9 years old.
Oh, sorry. Okay. In the future, do you want him to continue your business? Because I assume this is your family business. Is it
No, it's a joint venture.
joint? But okay.
But I don't think so. Now the new generation are not interested because they find it's too hard and life become harder because this timing is the it's quite a long time and late night and all this. Now the generation they prefer to have a better opportunity than being a chef or being the manager in a restaurant.
When you mentioned the challenges, we know pandemic really affect lots of restaurant business in the UK or all of the global world. I assume, can you tell us what kind of challenges you have facing during the pandemic time? And then do you even feel that's too difficult that you even want to give up? Do you have this kind of feeling that time?
But this place we opened just recently 2 years ago. Yeah. So earlier I used to have a joint venture as well. So that's what when during pandemic time is obviously is not only me. Everyone is facing that challenge that are we going to continue this in future or anything can be happen the same thing because of course the government help is there but still rent need to pay even whatever electric bill, gas bill, whatever is not consumed much, but still you need to pay. But when you don't get anything income, it's very difficult to pay out. So during that time, I think most of the restaurant has been shut down. They sell it off. But luckily, it doesn't take long to start again with the government help and all. So it still continues. But during that time, it's challenging. Everyone we used to communicate with all the hospitality and all this. They said, yeah, we have to, I think it's better to shut down or we close the business and we have to think something else.
So that means you have your own community, like you can talk to other, I don't know, Indian, Chinese.
Mostly my communication with people are more of Indian.
So are they living here or?
They live in UK. In UK, some are mostly are in London, some are out of London and all this.
Okay, so there are the chefs?
No, the owners, chef and all this. Chef is what that for them is as long as government is paying them the salary, they are sitting at home getting the salary is good enough. The owner is facing the challenging that time.
Because we also know during the pandemic time and also later the migration policies, they limited some migration come from outside to the UK.
Yes.
So one of the challenges maybe can be the staff shortage or chef shortage. Do you have this kind of problem?
I didn't have that kind of problem because this Indo-Chinese food actually is, I'm the first person to bring this food to UK. So whoever the staff I have trained, they are with me. So I didn't find much challenging about that. Basically, first thing, I'm a chef, so I'm not worried about that because I'm looking after the kitchen and all. But yes, some other restaurants, they have faced a lot of challenging, like Indian restaurant, they need a chef from India or abroad. So they might face the challenge of that.
So you said that you're a chef. Can you tell us a little bit about your training experience? So where did you train? So why you train as chef? How long did you do this training? Is like a very short time or very long time?
This as I said earlier, I started my restaurant industries working there at the age of almost 17 of age when I was 17 of age. So that's what is you can call as a teenager or the kids and all. Once you get interest in something, you will go for it and get interest, follow that one. Example, like in this generation, you sit on a computer, you are interested in computer, whole day you will be there. So during that time, we are also, they're using the chopper so fast. I want to do like that also. So we do, because you're putting more effort on that, so you learn quickly. So from there, in the city of Kolkata, my birthplace, so I learned a few things and all. Then I was thinking, I prefer to move to the bigger city where I can earn more of money. Everybody come to work because of money. So I've gone to one of the multi-politan city called Mumbai. So there, all the film actors, celebrities, and businessmen, politicians. So I used to work one of the top Chinese restaurant in Mumbai. It's called China Garden. I think if you Google, you will know about that. I'm talking about 80s, 82, 84 years. During that time, 1984 or 1985. That was the most popular Chinese restaurant where all the celebrity, even the Hollywood actors and all this, they use, when they come to India, they have to visit the place. So from there, start as a learner from the head chef. Obviously, I would want to learn more. So I have to be following on the head chef and buttering and all these things. So finally, the day I got an opportunity to cook for the celebrities and all this.
How long for that?
It took me around 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. I think that's much quicker than I thought.
Because you are putting more effort in it, you are focused in one thing.
Did you follow, because you say you need to follow the head chef, did you also follow the technique?
Yes. Whenever he do cooking, he do something, I just want to stand there and just want to watch carefully how he's doing. So that is how I learned from him. And he's a nice person. So he said, you are very interesting. So whatever I can, I will teach you. As a master, So I said, that's great. Because you are getting a free training from someone.
So for that big famous Chinese restaurant, that chef, is he cooking authentic Chinese food or?
No, it's Indo-Chinese food.
So that means now you're cooking here, you have been very significantly influenced by him.
Yes, and here I become more creative now. Because when I came to this country, come to know that here there are multicultural people. In India you will find only Indian people. You are cooking for the Indian people. Here you have a multicultural people, so you have to cook according to their taste.
So what kind of creativity you have put in your innovation, the menu innovation or maybe presentation innovation?
Basically, when you come to know, there's a lot of people, like in India also there's some different like Bengali, Gujarati, different like Chinese, how we have Cantonese, we have Mandarin, we have Fujians and all this. Same thing we have in India. Different people have a different taste. And other culture we find is a Muslim from Pakistan, and we have like Bangladeshi. There's a lot of things. That's why we have a halal sign where we welcome them. So we have to know about the taste, how they, because first thing you have to realize they have come from which country and what spices are they very familiar.
So that you have asked all of your customers to say how is the taste and
yeah, because when I come to this country 2001, people are not aware of this. They are mostly people have got confused. They say Indo-Chinese. Some people think of that is this restaurant is serving us Indian food and the Chinese food. So we have to explain them what is called Indo-Chinese food and the birthplace of this cuisine is where. So they say, okay, if we come inside, so let's have a try. So when they eat, obviously we will ask them, how do you find about this food? What kind of taste do you feel? They say, it's brilliant. We have never eaten this before. Especially person who are not from India. I'm talking about people who are from Pakistan or who are from Bangladesh and all this. So that is a very nice. We have never eaten this kind of Chinese food before. Because whatever we eat is a pure authentic Chinese food, which is available all over UK, especially in Leicester Square, Chinatown.
Okay. When you say this Indo-Chinese food is a little bit different from authentic Chinese food or maybe authentic Indian food, can you give us some specific examples to say that what kind of dishes normally is very popular, like most popular in your?
In India, the most popular dish is called chili chicken.
Mhm.
Chili chicken is, in India, even the kids know about that. So if you go to the Chinese people comes and say chili chicken, what is that? Never heard this name before. In Chinese cuisine, there is nothing called chili chicken. Because this is from India. This dishes is invented in India. So basically, it is a chicken with a spicy dishes with the chilies mixed with a Chinese soya sauce and all that. So for the other people, they feel why is called chili chicken? Because in the Chinese cuisine, there is nothing mentioned in the menu called chili chicken. So we have to explain them. The food come from India. We used to call it as Chinese food, but nowadays we call it Indo-Chinese food because this is a birthplace from India.
So I know in India you have used lots of chili powder or spice.
That is spices, yeah.
Spices. Did you bring some Indian spices from India to here?
No, because nowadays you get everything available in UK. Even in corner, each and every corner there, because the food is so popular in UK. All the cuisine is available here. So you get everything here, but little bit of expensive, but that's okay because instead of importing from other countries, obviously it's worth it.
As you say, that's chili chicken. Do you think that taste will be the same in India and also here?
It will be exactly 100% same.
Really? How come? Because for example, like here, the weather probably is a little bit different from the weather in India. And then when you...
No, it's not about the weather. Nothing to concern about the weather. The important is the technique and the taste. If you are from India, you have eaten this before, and when you in 2000, before 2001, there wasn't any Indo-Chinese food. So the Indian people from India, they are dying to have this food, but they couldn't find it.
Okay.
So once this food come in, people said we don't need to go to India to have this food again.
When did you back to India last time?
Before COVID.
Oh, that's a couple of years already.
Yeah.
Did you miss your country?
Not now, because usually I used to go every year because my mother used to be there. Now she's no more, so now I feel like my family more than Calcutta is more than in India is here because my wife and kids are here. I used to go because my mother is still there, so I have to go and visit her.
Okay. When you before the pandemic, when you visit your mom, did you also try some like Indian food there and then?
Yes, I'm a very foodie person because my taste is very different from her. Because my taste, if you give me Chinese food, I can eat easily. If you give me pizza, I can eat easily. If you give me Indian food, because I'm born in that place where the food is it's very famous for the food in India. All kind of food is there. So for me, but first thing, if I go to India, I prefer to have Indian food because here in UK, the Indian food is not as authentic as in India. So I would have preferred to have Indian food in there.
But then, because previously you mentioned you always want to do some creativity or innovation for your menu, for your food here. Do you think that that innovation will be affected by your taste in India? Like when you go back to India, you try some new food there, and then you bring some idea to here.
Yes, that's obviously because in India also there's quite a lot of famous chefs and all this. They do a lot of like creating menu and all. When you taste it, I know what they make for the Indian people in India. So that kind of food, when I see it, try to study and know about the food. When I come back to this country, then at home I'll try to make and eat by myself to see if I try to twist the dishes in UK culture, will it work or not? So slowly I use like a lot of menu. I have twisted here for the UK culture people. So it's work.
Did you have any failed stories
Fail?
for this kind of twist?
Yeah, of course. If you don't fail, you want success.
Can you give us some example?
Yeah, quite a lot of things. In India, what I have eaten is a goat meat.
Goat meat.
Yeah,
okay.
it's called
yeah.
but here you won't find it. It's called a lamb. So the taste will be different. So I didn't realize much. So one day I was just cooking out a lamb here. I keep on try first. I said I couldn't take the same what I have tried in India. One failed. Second time I tried, still I couldn't make it. I said maybe I take some twist and see, but it didn't work well. Then third time while I'm making time, I was thinking, what make it not success? One, twice, even third time, it doesn't work. So that made me think. And then I later on come to know because of this meat, because this is lamb, that is goat.
Okay. So this is why I say when migration chef come to the other country, some materials, raw materials, if they cannot get from their original country and they adapt in the local market or local demand, they also have lots of challenges. Either they can incorporate very well.
Yeah,
either
there's a lot of especially raw material you get everywhere. Except example of the most important here when it comes to lamb. A lot of Indian people they come to this country to eat. They don't like lamb because they say it's too smelly. So what the chef used to do, they just as a substitute instead of in India we call mutton. So they mention this is lamb, not mutton. So when you order, when you sit in a restaurant, when you want to order, you first read the description about that. When you say, oh, this is lamb, not mutton.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw there are lots of butcher shop, or particularly the Indian or Pakistan butcher shop. They sell this kind of lamb stuff. It's
Yeah.
called mutton
Mutton.
chop, or maybe pieces.
Yeah, even when I start to put a menu, the lamb in my menu. So I used to go to a butcher and ask them, what's the difference between, in India we call mutton as a goat meat. So I said, what's the difference between mutton and a lamb? So he said, no, it's same. Then I said, why you call mutton? Because from back home, when you mention mutton, it's a goat meat. He said, no, because mutton is called as a sheep and lamb is a baby one.
So it seems like this is the big cultural differences,
Yeah.
right, between India and the UK. Can you tell us other stories like you have been, because the cultural differences and you misunderstand something, can you
Yes.
give us some your menus? Do you have any other stories?
Beside the things, I think you can say 90% you get everything except the what I described of the lamb things. People are confused in that one.
I really can imagine like the UK customers when they come here, they say, oh, why is different?
Because when you mention Indo-Chinese food or beside the Indian food, because Indian food they mention already is lamb. So when they come in, they say Indo-Chinese food is written mutton. That means like a goat meat there. So now I change it to I just mention lamb.
To fit in the customer
Yeah,
demand.
so they come to know we're going to eat lamb, not mutton.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then because you mentioned lots of time about your menu. So how long did you spend on the menu design, and then which kind of dishes do you say, okay, these kind of dishes I will keep here forever because that's our classic?
Yeah, 70% is the same menu which I start from the beginning, where people.
In India that time, or?
No, in UK.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Because when I start here in 2001, when I start a menu and all, it was just try to see whether it's work or not. Because I don't know whether they will like, because people not aware of Indo-Chinese food.
So do you have any traditional menu from history you follow? Or
Yes, there's the same kind of dish as I mentioned, the chili chicken, but place, and we have something called Manchurian chicken also. They are also from India. So when you start here, first thing in my mind that if I start this like chili chicken, Manchurian chicken, and all these things which are very popular in India, will it work here or not? Because people are not aware about Indo-Chinese food. So besides Indian people, they know when they go to restaurant, they open a menu, when they see chili chicken, oh, this is what I wanted. I'm talking about people, Asian people like from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, Sri Lankan, and all this. They don't know about that. Because they are so know about the Chinese food in UK is about authentic Chinese food. When they say what is Manchurian, they read out the description. This is very familiar, not familiar. What is this? So that make me better. It will work or not? But luckily, it is work and it's become very popular now. Now all over the world is so popular about Indo-Chinese food. You go to Canada, Toronto, every corner place there's called Hakka Chinese food. Hakka Chinese food that means Indo-Chinese food.
Okay. Oh, this one really interesting because even I'm Chinese, I have zero knowledge about this kind of Hakka Chinese or Indian.
Hakka Chinese food, actually, Hakka Chinese food basically is known as a homemade food. But if you give the homemade food, Hakka Chinese food to the Indian customer, they won't like it. They say, oh, what's so special? It's similar like a Chinese food.
Okay.
So, but in Canada, what this people are more familiar is when you say Hakka, first thing in the mind they will think Hakka is from India. Actually, Hakka is not only from India, it is from other part like Singapore. There's a lot of Chinese people. In Malaysia, there's a lot of Hakka Chinese people. But Hakka people, more of Chinese people who are settled in India is Hakka than the Cantonese.
Okay.
So when you mention Hakka, they know they are from India.
Okay, very interesting. Another thing because you say that this one is in Indo-Chinese restaurant. Can you tell us your USP, like a unique selling point for your restaurant?
That's what
Compared to your other, I know there's not very a lot of Indo-Chinese food restaurant around here.
Very few. But whoever with the way there's a Indo-Chinese food, when you see Indo-Chinese food, you will come to know that place that I have worked there, or I have started that restaurant, or I have trained a chef for that restaurant.
Why you choose here, this area?
Because we are looking for a place, and this place, there was a previous place called Hakka Village, and they can't do well because they have a different chef using Indian chef to cook, and all. Obviously it's not the same, so they couldn't run it. They're running loss and all, so they want to sell it off.
During the pandemic time?
No, after pandemic. So me and my partner say, I think this place will work because people already know about a place called Hakka Village. Hakka is all. Only we need to change the village into something else. So I put the village into the garden.
Okay. What's the meaning behind why you choose garden rather than other?
Because Hakka Village, the name is not that. It's like not famous people say when they say oh the food is not good, they have a very bad review, bad reputation. I can't use the same name, so I have to change my name to Hakka Garden. In fact, about that I put my name there, Stephen Lee. People know if in UK 99% Indian people know if there's a Indo-Chinese food, that is Stephen Lee.
So that's your own branding, your brand.
Yeah.
So. The other thing, I'm also curious. You put your name on beside your restaurant name. Is it also influenced by your previous experience? Because you mentioned you're working with lots of celebrity chef. So do you think later you will become another celebrity chef as Indo-Chinese?
No,
chef?
Actually. Because that Stephen Lee name is become popular because I'm the first person to bring this food here. At the moment I think I have trained around 31, 32 chefs already, Indo-Chinese.
In the
in UK.
in UK. Okay. What about in London?
Yeah, in London.
In
only,
London. Okay.
yeah. And here means I've cooked a lot of Indian celebrity also.
Are they always coming to?
No, in my previous restaurant. And there's a lot of article who have write about me, and there's a lot of interview. There's a lot of magazine has come with me. So for that thing, like people, like I'm just very popular in their communities, like Indian communities. So when they see my name, they know that the Indo-Chinese food, that is Stephen Lee is there. That means it's an authentic Indo-Chinese food.
And that also represent the trust. They will trust
Yes.
your restaurant, your dishes, your also cooking skills.
Yeah, that's
So-
exactly what most of the Indian people they know about Stephen Lee about that.
You say that your name is very important. Yeah.
Can I take it? Hello.
Because you mentioned your name, I'm also thinking, and also mentioned the other people really trust your cooking, your food. Do you think you have like certain standard to make sure your Indo-Chinese food as always with that always that quality? They will not like people will think, oh, Indo-Chinese they'll be cheap, they'll be take away this kind of style.
No, they know where the Stephen Lee is there. They won't be anything wrong.
How can you make sure? Oh, sorry. How can you make sure
Because
they will not go wrong?
Because they trust me. They know that where I stand there, I make sure they will have a same, because they are from India. If I do something which like is not same as India, they will find out. They say, oh, it's not same. So I have to make sure. So even the customer coming first time here, so I make sure I cook the food. So twice, so I have to tell my training, the chef and all that. Next time, if this customer, you have to do like this, follow my step. So in case if I've gone for holiday or I'm not available, so it will be continuous carry on like that.
How many trainee chefs do you have?
I have 4.
How did you recruit them? Because you mentioned younger generation, they don't want to cook.
No, they are like my age type. I'm 52, 53.
So you have other four chefs. They are the same age as.
No, one is more younger, maybe around 30 of age.
So where did you recruit them? How did
They used to work with
with
me.
you? Okay. So that means you have a long-term working relationship.
Because what is that? In this country, you find very rare. There's a Indo-Chinese food. So person who are working in this, who are so used to it, if you leave the job, you go to find other. You're not going to get another Indo-Chinese restaurant. You will get another the authentic Chinese restaurant, another Indian restaurant where they are not comfortable.
Okay. I'm thinking because you always say Indo-Chinese food is a little bit different, but then what's the reason why you want to keep your restaurant as Indo-Chinese restaurant rather than just a purely Indian restaurant?
Indian restaurant is Indian food and Indo-Chinese food is completely different. It's like a one east, one west. So when you mention Indo-Chinese food, so people know that is not an Indian food now. Neither is a Chinese food.
So this is why sometimes people you need to spend lots of time to explain what's the differences between.
Normally when this place opened or my previous work, I used to spend more of time chatting with the customer, because when the new restaurant comes, it's not that every day is so busy and all. So you have a time to go out, explain to them, talk to them, let them know about the Indo-Chinese food. The answer is your taste. When you know the taste, oh, this is what I wanted. I missed so many years. Even a lot of customers say, I was in this country for 30 years. I never had this food. If I want to eat this Indo-Chinese food, I have to go back to India. So he said, no, I don't need to go back to India.
Do you want to record your taste, those kind of food taste for the few generations? How did you want to record? If you want?
For the next generation, I don't know much about that. When I look at a young generation, what they like more of even the Chinese food, Indian food, or Indo-Chinese, whatever, they are more into fast food. Like my son.
Noodles,
They, pizza, KFC, McDonald's, all this. They like more of this than the homemade food or the restaurant food.
Did you
Like-
feel very disappointed for that?
It's like the thought in my mind. I don't know what generation will come next, and what about like kind of Indian food will go for next generation. What about the Chinese food go to the next generation? Forget about this Indo-Chinese. This is very new. The legend food like Indian traditional Indian food, traditional Chinese food, and all. Like even a Chinese kids born in a Chinese family, if you say let's go out for dinner or something, they say no, let's go to McDonald's or let's go to KFC or let's go to Nando's. Those fast food is capturing all this food that make the. Even nowadays you can see a lot of Chinese restaurants closing down, a lot of Indian restaurants closing because of this. Because the future generation, they are not into all this.
And then when you say the fast food, that's also related to delivery, because I saw you have a collaborate with Uber Eats or something.
Uber Eats, that's a delivery things. It's nothing to do with that. Like you sit home, you want to order something, you just place the order, they will do the delivery.
Do you think that that will be the difference when people eating in the restaurant?
The eating way will be changed later on in another generation. Instead of going to a restaurant, if you go to a restaurant, you have your expense become more because you have to drink Coke, Fanta, or beer or something. At home, you buy from a supermarket. It's very cheap. Bring it at home, keep in the fridge. Just order from Uber Eats, Just Eat, and all this. They do the delivery.
But how did you cope in this kind of future trend? If everyone to say, okay, we don't want to go to the restaurant to...
That is a very tough things in future, because the restaurant will be more of expecting people to come. Is that either they have a occasion like birthdays or treating friends or gathering. That is the option you will have in future for the restaurant. The rest they will do like I come back from work feeling tired. Why have to go to a restaurant? If I go to do takeaway, still I have to walk or I have to drive a car. Just give a order on the mobile app. They do the delivery in 20-25 minutes. Very convenient. So the future of the restaurant will become tough in that way.
But then, do you have any strategies to fit in these kind of changes, or?
Right now, it's difficult to know about what will happen next. But there will be always a chance of the occasion. Occasion, the best part in this is about Indian occasion. Indian occasion, they have lot of occasions. So, like any kind of occasion of let's family or friends, let's go out.
So you have it means that the customer come here, they're more family oriented?
Mostly family and gathering, like birthday. They book for 10 people, bring their own cakes, celebrate. That's all.
Okay. Do you want to explore any new customer market?
Word of mouth is the best marketing.
Have you done any other social media marketing?
That is social media is Facebook, Instagram, and all this. I think nowadays, like my age and all, they are not into not much fancy in Facebook and all. For the younger generation, Instagram and all that. But even they're not going to see about the food. They're going to see about celebrities and
nice photos. Sometimes very
like my age and all, people will watch and food and all they like, they see.
Okay.
But if talking of the coming way, people say, oh, it look like a nice food. We'll try it. They order from Uber Eat and all this thing. Because now, who want to go to a restaurant alone and try the food?
In China, actually, I think last few years they start a new concept they call the one-person dining. So it's only for solo person who can eat individually in the restaurant.
Yeah, even in
Rather than-
in British there's also is there. But I'm talking because I'm talking about Indo-Chinese food. I'm not talking about Chinese food and Indian food or Italian food. Indo-Chinese food, our customer is 99.9% is Indian. So,
Yeah, seems like they have a
so
quite.
like 99.9% is Indian because I born and brought up in India. So I know their mentality. I know how they are spending and why they will come to the restaurant. That's the only way occasion.
Do you think the new generation or new migration that came to UK that their taste is the same as what you used to believe? This kind of the Indian family they came here, are they the same?
If they come from example of people coming from India as a family settling here, so obviously the first thing they have a taste of their own traditional Indian food. Secondly, they're not going to try something as beyond the taste because no one want to waste the money that I order food which I don't like. So first thing they will go for their own traditional food. They might try some other like Indo-Chinese food. They come from India, so they know about Indo-Chinese food. Chinese food means authentic Chinese food they will not go because in India they are so used to eat spicy food because Chinese food there is no spicy at all. So they used to say, I used to talk a few family members who come from India. So they surprised you are Chinese talking in Indian language. I said, there's nothing to do with it. I born in India. So he said, well, we go to Chinatown because it mentioned Chinese food. Because in India, Indo-Chinese food is also known as the Chinese food because it's run by the Chinese people. So they thought Chinese food must be Chinatown, so it must be Indo-Chinese food. He said, wow, we are having the hospital food. Because it's bland, no spice. They said, we used to ask them, do you have a chili?
Oh, that's really interesting for some south part of China because south part of Chinese food they are very sweet.
Yeah,
And
and some are spicy. They are in Sichuan.
Yeah, Sichuan, yeah. And then you previously mentioned in London we have over 30 Indo-Chinese restaurants or chefs. Chefs.
Not a restaurant. Restaurant, I think there's 5 or 6.
So if 30 chefs but only 5-6 restaurants, are they were all of them working for this 5-6 restaurant?
Not exactly they're working there. When I train them, I'm not saying they are 100% trained chef. You know, they know, means know a little bit, but not who can stand and do the cooking.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just the
Yeah,
trainee.
trainee.
Okay. And then, do you know other 4-5? Where are these 4-5 Indo-Chinese food restaurants?
The first one where I start Indo-Chinese food that is in South London called Wimbledon Park, Dalchini one.
Okay.
The first one. Around 5 or 6 years I worked there. Then there's another one where I start is in Croydon, South Croydon. It's called Spice and Ice. The third one is in Hounslow, called as Bombay Walk. The fourth one is Hakalang in Harrow also, which is I'm the joint venture there. Now I move up from there and start here. So this the fifth one is Hakka Garden. And there's one more is called as the Bombay Chow, where I trained a chef and sent it because the owner is my friend, so they want to open Indo-Chinese food. I said I can't do two things, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I can help you out with I can train the chef and give it to you. That's how it's.
Okay, so 5 this kind of Hakan gardens. Do you guys chefs always sitting together? Say have a maybe social drink and say, oh yeah, let's talk about last month. What happened?
Very rare, because whoever work, we will talk only during the working time, because we are in the kitchen, so we can talk. Social things we are, because all have a family. After the time you want to, when the work finish, you have to rush go home.
Yeah.
You know.
So you guys not really have this kind of strong community sense.
Means communication is just on the phone.
No, community, like Indo-Chinese chef community. Do you have this
No,
kind
no,
of
no, we
community?
don't have that.
But did you feel sometimes a little bit lonely?
Because it's hardly people, hardly Indo-Chinese chef is there. So I'm talking about who are well trained by me.
Okay.
They are some gone back to their own country. They start this food in their country, like Nepal, some in India. They used to come as a work. They come as a work permit here. So after the work permit, they see they find more opportunity that this food should be in India.
Oh, okay. So do your trainee also bring some future trainee come to you?
Not because even a new training, a lot of people looking there. Oh, I would love to work with you, but when you keep there, you have to pay the salary as well.
So you also.
I
need to
prefer
think
to be, as standard. If I have 4 people working with me, I think that's fine.
you still can manage based on current discount costing.
Because one more thing is, more you train people, the more value is going to go down. Like example, today I have just trained 2 chefs for 2 years, and they become well-trained chef. So people say, oh, Indo-Chinese food is doing so well. I open one Indo-Chinese food. Okay, how much the Stephen is paying you? Okay, he's paying you 2,000, I'll pay you 3,000. Come and work for me.
That's not very healthy competition. It seems like they grab your
Yeah,
chef and then
because everyone in the restaurant industry also, it's like a race. It's like a competition. If I see your restaurant doing well, my restaurant is not doing well, I change it into Indo-Chinese then. That is work. I know it's happening everywhere. I'm not talking about UK, even in India also. If your neighbor restaurant is doing well, mine is not doing, I want to find out who is working, who is the chef there. I try to bring the chef to my place to make my business grow.
that's very interesting because I always thought chef
No, no,
industry
no.
they will collaborate
No,
each
it's,
other.
Unless your own people, your relative, your very close friend, that's different. But if you train anyone, if people come to London or UK to work just because of money. If you pay me more, I work for you.
Wow, then I think for you as also restaurant owner, you become very tough. You will face very tough.
Very
situation.
tough. But since the chef I was working, I'm having here, they work for me for so long, so I can trust them, and they know if I leave this place, I go somewhere else, I cannot do the same what Stephen is doing. One fine day, suppose someone offer me more money, I joined that restaurant. For 6 months, the owner say, oh, it's not the same as what Stephen is doing, but Stephen, that restaurant is still doing well. That means this chef is rubbish. We'll throw him out next time.
Wow, gosh.
This kind of politics well.
So you say you have this four trainee chefs, and including you 5 of you.
Yeah.
Do you have some common memories when you come to UK? Like you came here 2001, so like say 23 years.
Yeah, we still have a communication. In 2001, the chef day, we work together. We still have a communication, but they are working in some other place. Some are not working Indo-Chinese. They say, oh, because Indo-Chinese work is more tougher than other Indian restaurant.
Okay,
Because
right.
Indian restaurant, what they just cook in bulk, they just warm in a pan and just serve. But like Chinese food also, you can't do that. Like a buffet, you're going to murder the food. So instantly you have to cook in a wok, you know.
So you have a very high standard for this kind of quality of Indo-Chinese food and to make sure they have a good taste rather than just a fast takeaway, this kind of flavor, right?
Yeah, even I always talk when I talk to a customer, I told them also, you're doing a takeaway, you are thinking of buffet because you are eating the leftover food.
That's not very good.
I say you order a la carte in your table, from a straight kitchen the food come to your table. Even that time you can smell the food also.
Wow, they seem like we have a lot of challenges for the future generation if they still think about the catering, hospitality, restaurant business.
I'm afraid that in future it will fade away. It won't be there like this because normally now people are not into restaurant business because they know it's very tough. The tax is high, VAT is there, all this salary is high. Your business depend on the customer to come in. If they don't come in, you're going to close in another 3 months. So it's a tough, and people don't want to open a restaurant. Especially like as a chef, you have a son. You 100% no chef wants his son to be a chef.
This is why the starting point when we prepare this funding project is we thinking, because you say that you have a really care about taste, you have probably your own menu, your own recipe to cook different kind of dishes, but then is the memory from your generation.
Yeah, that's from my generation.
And then if your son, your future generation, they don't want to continue, after let's say 50, 100 years later, who will remember you? Who will remember? Yes.
No one, because that generation is totally changed. I'm talking like my generation. We used to eat a homemade food like Hakka, authentic Hakka food. You know, nowadays even my son is also Hakka. He's not going to eat that food. Sometimes I used to cook and make him to eat. He said, "No, I don't want."
You feel very sad.
Yeah.
You feel very sad.
Because in future this will be fade away. There won't be any more like this. There will be only like a fast food will be growing up, peri chicken, this, that.
Do you think any way to protect or maybe save your memory, like your Indo-Chinese memories?
That memories you will find in the internet. That's the only way. When you search for Indo-Chinese for Hakka food, there you will see about Stephen, first person to bring that. But the taste won't be there because when in future I'm not there. So obviously my son he will not be interested in cooking and all. He's just go and buy from chicken shop and all these things, fast food. So during that time, I think no one will think about this food.
This is the reason.
From the small time, if the your children are not liking this kind of food, so when they grow up, how will they like this food? Because they are used to from the school. They're giving all smashed potatoes and all these things. So the taste will be changed from the next generation.
Or even more maybe forgot.
Yeah, will definitely forgot. There won't be.
This is why we say yes from the recipe.
They might know about the Indo-Chinese food, but you expect him to go to the restaurant to eat Indo-Chinese food. He said, at home I don't eat. Why I have to spend money to eat that?
It's really, really disappointed and also a little bit pity, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then, because you said that you're the first person bring Indo-Chinese food here, no, sorry, this kind of area. UK, yeah. As Indo-Chinese chef, this kind of the identity, what that mean for your family, for your children? So do they feel very proud to say, look, my dad is Indo-Chinese chef, or your family say, yes, my husband or my relatives, they working as a chef. What is this identity meaning for you?
It's not that even like example in the family member, they feel proud, they feel good only when you cook for them. When you are at home, wife say, oh, today I don't feel like cooking, you cook. They feel good, But if you tell him to go and spend money to the restaurant to eat, they will not go.
Okay. So,
And like about a chef in this country also, they mostly their life get tired also in every day. The worst I can say is a true fact. There's nothing to be high. Even if you go and interview to any kind of chef, say, are you happy with as a chef life? They might say yes, I am, but inside they say no, because when you see it, when I talk to a lot of chefs who work in a restaurant, because I myself is a chef, so I know what difficulty a chef is going through. So I just want to hear from them. So they say, yeah, we are happy, and then I ask them the question, are your families happy? They say no, because we go home late. My wife, children is sleeping. When they go in the morning, my wife go to work. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, my children go to work at 8 o'clock, go to school 8 o'clock. When I get up, I don't see them. When I come back, I don't see them, they are still sleeping.
so this is why
The point is that. And the other point is what is that during example of the biggest festival is the Christmas, New Year's and all, people go out to celebrate. But a chef cannot go out to celebrate.
Oh, you make me very cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the wife said, why can't you take holiday? I used to explain to her, this is a day where the restaurant is more busy. That means you can't celebrate Christmas, you can't celebrate New Year, you can't celebrate Chinese New Year.
All of the most important events, festival.
You are in the kitchen, yeah. So that is the chef life about. They sacrifice all these things because chef feel more happy when they cook a good food to the customers. That is for them is a purity. But for the life behind that is very tough. People mostly as a chef they hate, but they have no choice because the only skill they have is cooking.
Wow, it seems like your family behind you, they need to spend even more patience. They also need to really understand you then.
Yeah, of course they understand. That's the reason we are still like I'm just on a weekend visit them. I'm working during the festival time. I'm working because they understand because I don't have the other skill beside the cooking. So I have to focus on my skill. I have to carry on with that.
So you think that because before that I'm thinking, yes, you mentioned how difficult, how challenging is for the chef life, and then what's the reasons to keep you going? Because you don't have seem like you don't have a very good personal life, you don't have a good family life.
Yeah, like example of we close on Monday, so Monday is an off day. So only day I tell my wife, you relax, I'll cook. She become happy. And that means I have 7 days in cooking.
You don't have any one day off.
That's what the life is.
Do you regret?
No, I don't regret. This is part of life. You choose this life, you cannot regret. In fact, you have to enjoy it while you are cooking.
Okay. Apart from you say you're very happy when your customers say, "Oh, this food is so brilliant and so nice." What are the happiest moments you have during this kind of chef life?
Happy moment when customers who come to eat, they appreciate that this is a wonderful food we missed for many years. We don't have any. That thing is the turning point for me. People live here 30 years, they didn't get this kind of food. Now they are getting just because of me.
That's really a kind of achievement.
Yeah.
You can change people thinking about food. Oh, okay, right. Another few questions, because you talk about your migration to here, and then another like 23 years you keep this kind of business running. You also work jumping from different restaurants. Let's think about a little bit early. When you was in Chinatown in India, what is your favorite food in your childhood?
Because the favorite food is my homemade food, because we grown up with that, because my mother used to cook every day, and during that time is not as we don't have that kind of money to spend outside and eat outside, so we are grown up with this food, so used to at home. It's called Hakka food at home. You know how the Hakka food is. So first one is that we grown up with that food, that is we are used to it. Secondly, when we grow more bigger, so we used to go out and eat different kind of food. So right now this multi-cuisine food is there. If there's a place where I can find my homemade food, I'll go there first, because I'm missing that one. Because my mother used to cook for me, so I know I can cook also same, but that kind of mine is not that this is not cooked by my mother.
So you still really miss your mom's cooking?
Yeah, of course, because we grown up with that food every day, like lunch, breakfast, dinner, by my mother's cooking.
Do you think the way you're cooking now is kind of way to keep your your memory with your mom?
No, this is different. That is homemade food. This is Indo-Chinese
but
food.
some of them, because you say you're still affected by Indian food, right?
My mother don't cook Indian food. It means Hakka food.
Oh, Hakka food. Oh, yeah. So that's kind of Hakka food.
It's completely different from Indian food.
Oh, okay. I thought
Indian food, when we start growing up, like when I start working outside, then we go like only off days, like we have some few friends, okay, let's go out, eat out there. So from different things we start to know about, okay, there's something called Mughlai food, there's something called Bengali food, there's called something. So that is different thing. But the main food is Hakka, where I grow up with that food. Now I'm giving this to my son, he is not going to eat this one.
Normally how many dishes on the table?
Normally Chinese people, they like a lot of dishes. First thing is required is soup.
Oh.
Yeah. Then steam, and the boiled rice and stir fry vegetable like spinach. A lot of in India there are quite a lot of even I think in China also a lot of pak choy and all this stir fry. There's 3 or 4 items is compulsory required on the table.
That's from what you described is typically South China food.
Yeah.
Because
that passed from my great-grandfather to my, by the time my generation is start to change.
Did your parents also back to China to trace their family history? Do you know that?
No, they never been to China, neither I've been to China also. Because I don't know who is there, I don't know whether I have a relative or not.
So you don't have any family history related to China?
Because
did you miss that? Did you always want to find your Chinese root?
No, because I'm the third generation, so I don't know whether my great-grandparents who has a relative or not. That's it.
Okay. Wow, that's really changed my thinking, because I always thought the third generation you still want to looking for your root, your cultural root, and so you say, oh, who am I? So why my family come from China to here?
Most important, now I know that I born in India and my parents are from India. So I know my parents' background and all this, who's relative, but whatever they have a relative is in India.
Okay.
But my grandparents, maybe they have a brothers who are cousin, not brother, maybe cousin and all over there. But at this moment, they must be no more.
Okay. Yes.
So even my grandparents, they have a cousin who are there. Their children and all, they're not going to recognize us. How will they know who you are? So it's a long gap, is that?
So this is another interesting thing when we do the migration study. We always try to find where is the gap, how we can fit.
If the gap is not big, it's easy to find. Suppose my parents are from China, so if I go back to China, I just mention my parents' name.
You can find, yeah.
But now if I go and mention to the my generation, I say my grandfather name, and they even don't know. So how will they know?
So it's from 70, 80 years, that gap, is that right?
I think more than that. I'm 53 now.
Okay, yeah, more than 100 years, definitely. Wow, okay. Right, so last two questions. The first question is, when you open or when you run this Indo-Chinese restaurant 2 years ago, you say 2 years ago, right? This one, yeah.
2 years.
What kind of thing you want change English people thinking?
In British people.
British people, yes.
That's I've been trying for very, very long time, but I couldn't success.
Why?
The problem when I did start in South London, Wimbledon, where there's a lot of British people, English people and all. Because British people, they are a good spender. First thing, when they go, they need wine and all this. But it's difficult to get them because they don't know about this food. When they don't know about this, why do you have to spend money on that? Drinks, so you can go to any pub and have it. But even the expensive world, you go to something which you don't know. So I tried when people taking interview, I try to explain about the Indo-Chinese food. So maybe some British people, when they go to YouTube, see my interview, they see on my cookery shows and all. Maybe now they will start to know. Earlier they don't know. They thought Indo-Chinese, what is that, Indo-Chinese? And is this an Indian food is there? We said no. Is there Chinese food is there? No. Then what is this?
So that means the storytelling, you need to have a very good storytelling
Yeah.
to explain your Indo-Chinese.
And they have to come and they have to taste it. And the taste will be very, very different because they have never tasted it before. You know, when you never eat this before, first thing you won't like it.
Because that's not their familiar.
Not familiar at all.
And they can't even compare. So there's suddenly something very strange, something very new to them. Oh, okay. Right. The last question for our future generation. I know we have talked about lots of challenges in terms of our future generation, but as one Indo-Chinese chef, regarding your experience, regarding your skills, from those kind of the experience and skills, what kind of things you want the next generation learn about?
I would love them to be someone to be continuous, you know. But I don't know, will be or will be not. If the only option that can be if the Indo-Chinese restaurant or cuisine become very, very popular, people from India, maybe people from Pakistan, they would like to invest the money to start something, get a good pay to the chef who do start something like that. That is I can see there's only chances there. Where if the Indo-Chinese popular is very, very popular, like nowadays like fast food type. More people are to invest on the fast food because they know it will work. If the Indo-Chinese food is same like that, become very popular day by day, people say, okay, instead of going to eat Indian food, I'll go and eat Indo-Chinese food. Or if I want to go to have Italian food, I'll go and instead of Italian, I'll go to India. Then the future generation, that will be making Indo-Chinese next generation of chef to increase their ability to cook all this food.
And also raise their voice to let everyone know about it. Because I'm thinking currently probably, as you say, English people, British people, they even don't know the history.
They don't know.
About the Indian.
They don't know even there's Chinese people living in India. They don't know even there's a Chinatown in India. Until unless when I have spoken to kind of British people, then immediately they start to do Google. Oh, I can see it. We don't know. Just imagine 40, 50 years old people, they don't know. 40, 50 years British people, they don't know there's Chinese people in India. Forget that. Even when I was having an interview with the South China Morning Post, I told her about the Chinese people in India. He said, "Is there Chinese people in India?" I said, "Yes. In fact, there's a Chinatown in India." Oh, we don't know about that.
Do you have any histories, pictures of something related to Chinatown in India?
I have pictures and all that because I visit every year when my mom was alive. So they celebrate Chinese New Year in Calcutta, in India. So if you go to YouTube, you search for a Chinese New Year in Kolkata, they will show all the video. And during that time, Chinese New Year in India, you can say is a big celebration like Chinese New Year. People all over the world who are born and brought up in India, who are settled in abroad, once in a year during Chinese New Year, they all come back to celebrate in India.
Oh, really? All of them?
Most of them, 70%, they come back to India, they celebrate Chinese New Year in India. Even I used to do every year. I go back to India during Chinese New Year time. So I can spend Chinese New Year time, celebrate them, Chinese New Year with my mother,